Good morning, Virginia. This is Virginia This Morning.
This Partners in Healthcare segment is sponsored by Lutheran Family Services of Virginia.
Well, support for adult children struggling with the changing needs and abilities of their parents. That's just one of the goals that Lutheran Family Services of Virginia is looking to help out with. CEO Julie Swanson and gerontologist Christina Deer join us this morning. Welcome, ladies.
Good morning. Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Good to be here.
Yeah, we were just talking about Lutheran Family Services of Virginia and where the focus has been, and now we have this new element that's introduced. Let's take that step back, and for those that aren't familiar, tell us about Lutheran Family Services of Virginia.
Okay. Well, we're actually over 120 years old. We had a history as a children's home. In recent years, we've been very much an agency that's done foster care, adoption, home-based services. We also have schools up and down the southwest part of the state, many education centers for children with disabilities. So we've definitely been a child and family agency historically, but now we really see this opportunity to do more as a faith-based agency for older adults.
I would imagine that a lot of the families that you're working with have expressed this kind of a need and probably have such a great relationship with you that they think, wouldn't it be nice if I could find that service there?
That's true, and also members of churches. You know, as people age in place, they really are looking for help, and so what we've had is a number of board members and people of faith say, is there something that you're thinking about doing for older adults?
How do we evaluate our parents, our aging parents, and whether or not these services may be right for them and if it's time?
I think one of the things right now with the holidays coming up is a good time. Families live apart. So you come home and you see your mom or dad and you start noticing some things. I always tell families medications aren't being taken, sometimes spoiled food in the refrigerator, mail is piled up. You start seeing some forgetfulness. It becomes concerning and you're like, what's the next step? And it is a difficult conversation to have a lot of times with the older adult and adult children. Mom and dad have been independent, they've made their own decisions, and suddenly you as an adult child may have to step in and start making some of those decisions.
And if you're a parent yourself and have young children, maybe that comes more naturally, but if you're not and you're just shifting roles into the parent role, it's very difficult.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think the hardest part is that we're always a child to our parents, and so therefore when we want to start to make suggestions, you just don't know what to turn to or what to do, and so we can be of a real assistance to someone who's struggling with, well, what in the world do I do now?
So when they come to you and they've said, what on earth do I do now, where do we go? Where does the process take us?
I think it depends on where the family is. Sometimes it's a consultation, that's at a very initial stage. The adult child oftentimes will come into the office and it's just a preliminary talk about what's going on. I'll make some recommendations and give some agencies that have good reputations that I've worked with. Oftentimes it's at a more intense level where they're starting to see more issues or problems and they want someone to come in and do a comprehensive assessment. The comprehensive assessment covers, I go into the home, I meet with the older adult, I meet with their loved ones, family members who wants to be involved, and really look at the whole realm of the person's life. We look at the social, the mental, the environment they're living in, cognitive functioning, what the needs may be. I can write up a report if a family wants it that comprehensive. Sometimes it's just a matter of listing out recommendations for them and then giving them the name of agencies that can provide services to help them. And I definitely include the older adult because the most important thing is this person still has dignity and worth and has made decisions independently. There are times where there may be cognitive deficits and then maybe the adult child has to make it, but it's really important to include the older adult in the decision making as well.
Maintain them in this process, definitely. Do you find, and this is my last question for you, but do you find that when families are coming in, it's definitely go time and they've kind of been putting it off, maybe not wanting to see some of those changes, or is it they're just getting started with this process?
I think it's usually at that really critical point where they just really need they need help. And you know what we tell people is just place the phone call. Sometimes a phone call can give you just that amount of information you need to kind of take a deep breath and say, okay, now I know what I need to do next. Or it can go all the way into even ongoing services that we might provide. I saw when I did this program in Colorado, just so many parents that really were able, or caregivers that were really able to say, I've got some help now and I can really make a smart decision with my older adult or my parent.
Something as easy as a phone call.
Right.
Well, thank you, ladies. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much.
You can learn more about Lutheran Family Services of Virginia, one of your partners in healthcare. You can visit their office at 2000 West Club Lane in Richmond. Give them a call at 288-0122. That's extension 238. Or 1-800-359-3834. And you certainly can visit online anytime at lfsva.org.